Welcome again to becomeatechpro.com. So we are still on SonarQube. In this session, we want to look at how we can change the ports for a SonarQube server. We can also look at how to change the context paths also, since we'll be looking at the same file to get this done. Now, by default, the port number for SonarQube is 9000, as we can see up here, right? And the default context path is root, right? You can say the slash. So now this is what we get by default, okay? And this shows that it's actively running at the moment. Now, to change our context path and port number, we need to go to the CLI, okay? So here we have, let's clear this. So this is what we have at the moment, okay? So let's find our way to the SonarQube home directory. Alternatively, we can look at searching for the particular file we want to work with, right? Using the sudo find command, okay? So the file I'm looking for is the sonar.properties file, right? So sonar.properties file. So let's look for it, right? I know it's in the conf directory, okay? But it's not impossible that we are not sure of where it is. So this should come handy. Sonar.properties, right? So I'm looking for a file named sonar.properties. So it tells me where it is, the conf directory, as we expected, within the SonarQube home directory, which we have domiciled in the /opt directory. Okay, now that we have this, we have the absolute path. So we should be able to work with this, okay? So we already have permission for Sonar user, right? We have a 775 permission for this file, right? Let's confirm that. Okay, we have a 775 permission for this file, and ownership is for Sonar. So we should be able to run this without sudo. Okay, so what we want to do now is to VI into the file. I believe I installed Vim. Okay, let's Vim into this file. Okay, so now that we are in here, we have established that the default port is 9000 and the default context path is root. So we are trying to locate the we are trying to locate where to make the changes. Okay, so the web server area, I believe. Okay, I believe it's somewhere around here, the web server section. Sonar.web context. Okay. Okay, I see sonar.web context here. Okay, you can see this is where we have it, sonar.web context. And here we have sonar.web port. Okay, so port is currently set at 9000. right? Port is currently set at 9,000, and context, we have context up here. So we need to set our default context path, and we also need to set up our default ports, right? So to do that, the first thing we want to do is to come to this line and take out the, make it uncommented, right? So I to insert so that we can make changes, okay? So I like to just go ahead and take off the comments, okay? I'll also go here and do the same thing, okay? So now it's no longer a comment. So let's say my preferred context path is, let's say, become a tech pro. Let's say that's my default context path. Let's say this is my default context path. Okay, so now currently the port is 9,000. Let's say I want to change it to 9444. Okay, so I've just changed that. Okay, so I have this, I have that. So this is my preferred context path, and this is my preferred port. So once I do this, I want to save this file. Okay, so now this file is saved, right? So the next thing I want to do is to go check out my sonar.sh, right? The location of my sonar.sh file, right? So I can restart the SonarQube service, okay? So, and that location is, let's user sudo find, okay? Sonar.sh, okay? So I have it in here. This is where it is in the bin directory, right? So this is where it is. So let's move there. Okay, so I can just go directly there. CD, so that I can run the command from there. Okay, so now I'm in here. So I want to run the restart command, right? Sonar.sh restart. So gracefully stopping SonarQube started. Okay, right now you can see that we've changed the context path and the port number, right? So if I run this, I don't expect it to work because that no longer exists, right? So if I go ahead and just change this to 9444 as it is, right? 9444 as it is, because I've also changed the context path. Let me take this out. You also see that it's not able to connect because we still have something left to do, right? We need to go and open, update the port on the AWS platform, right? Since I'm using a Linux server with AWS, so let's see how we need to go about that. So this is my SonarQube server. So what I need to do now is to go to security, right? Then I come here, I see the security groups, right? If I go to edit inbound rules, I see that only port 9000 was open alongside the SSH port, right? 22. So what I want to do is to modify this and set this up accordingly, okay? So once I save that and come back here, I refresh now, let's see. Okay, let's check okay, 9444, that was it. So let's copy the IP address again, just to be sure I've not altered it at any point. And let's see that SonarQube is running. Okay, so we have SonarQube here, right? So let's check the status. SH. Let's check the status of SonarQube. Okay, it shows that SonarQube is running. So if we go back to the browser, right, let's check the, okay, so let's check the IP address. Let's copy that. Okay, so IP address, colon 9444. Okay, so context path become a tech pro. Okay, so you can see what happened there. We had a new context path. Okay, so it requires the context path for it to work, right? Because before now, it was just root, right? Before now, it was just root. But after the modification we made become a tech pro, the context path, right? So if we try applying this without specifying the context path, right? Because the whole essence of adding the context path is for security, right? So for extra security, that's why we're adding the security, the context path, okay? So when we refresh now, we are able to access our SonarQube platform, right? So we come in here, we enter our username. Okay, so click on login. So we are in. All our projects are here and they are intact. All right, so this is about all. So look forward to seeing you in the next session. Thank you and bye for now.